Guys, how you all doing? This is NKD Smart View. Now, as you guys know, for the last 2 weeks, we've actually been on the winning color strategy. But from today on, we'll be changing on into the rainbow. As you know, every 2 weeks at maximum, I always like making a change to my strategy, and with that, I'll be going on that today. So let's proceed on with it. Now, for this right about today, we'll be doing something. But before I start, let me check out. And according to what I always do in all my strategies, I always like to make use of two things. First of all, your statistics. Then second, your last 10 draws. Now, your statistics is to know what color or colors to play. Then your last 10 draws is to give you the right entry point. It's always very disastrous whereby you know what color to play, but you end up entering too early and your funds get burnt out. You understand what I'm trying to say? So that's why if you always check in any strategy I do, as long as I know the technique and according to what I know on the game of for Nigeria, you see the statistics, it's very, very much delicate. It's not as it's thought. Very, very delicate. So let's get on to it. You don't just take because you actually believe. You don't trade by sentiment, you trade by analysis. So analyze properly, then you know what to go on with. Now, to do this now, use this strategy. I've actually devised my box method. I always like using the box method. The reason is because I know what it actually stands to cover. So this is the box method right about now. Now, on the box method, let's go on to check out what we have here. Now, dominance on the last box, we can find out that we have something much more green here. Dominance on the middle box, I believe, is a blue. Then dominance on the most recent box, it's a red. With this being stated now, let's check out our analysis on the statistics and know what particular color we should be playing for the next 10 draws. Alright, so with this being stated, we will be playing our color blue for the next 10 draws. So from draw 78 to draw 87, 78 to 87, we'll be staking blue. So let's begin our gameplay now. Now, with this being stated, whenever you find out your color in this way, there's something you should note, and that is the fact that that particular color now for the next 10 draws does not mean that it might make up 2 plus in the next. Like this is the first and as one now. Let me just take before I continue my explanation. It doesn't mean that for the next 10 draws you're expecting to see. Sorry about this. You're expecting to see blue 2 plus 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 2 in the next 10 draws. But it's guaranteed that you will see something rather much like this. Blue, blue, a loss, blue, 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 a loss, blue, blue, and blue for the next 10 draws. That means you should be expecting at least or at most one martingale. You understand what I'm saying? Whenever you get in at the right proportion or at the right time, you find out that your game will be rather much easy and much more precise. Just get your particular statistics to know what is actually on the last 10 draws, what is dominating. Once you get the dominance, you can then know what particular color to actually win. So you can see this now. For the first two, we have something like this. Blue here, then we have an out here. We go in for the recovery immediately. This was a draw. And let me go to the statistics now to see the implication of this result. All right, there was no movement, so there is no implication there. No movement on the screen. So no implication. Now, in everything I'm always doing and every strategy I try to implement, one thing I always try to do is to look for any side effect. What can be the downside of this strategy? Now, we'll talk about that very soon. Let this draw come out, then I go to explain to you what the possible downside of this strategy can actually be. What can be the downside? Now, as I'm stating, we do not expect our blue to actually go more than once without getting our returns. So we've actually made the recovery right about here. So I can go down now to stake this with 500 once again. We made the recovery at the first time, and that is the goal of this strategy. The goal of this strategy is to make sure that you will make no loss more than once. Now, this is the downside here, or let's say a possible downside, though it is not. Now, look at this on your all-time. Once you go to your all-time statistics, this is the beginning of the game of Bet9ja as we know it. From the very day it was set, it started counting. Now, when you go to the all-time, you find out this, that on the all-time, your max win streak on draw is 10. Telling you that for 10 draws, blue, red, and green, none of them actually made a win. It was a 3-3 between two colors, or 2-2-2 of the three colors, or 2-2-1 and a 49 coming. No particular color was actually victorious for the 10 draws. Now we've won this blue again. Get on and make our stake. So that's what I'm trying to say. No particular game or no particular color won the whole of the 10 draws. It was between two to three colors, just between two to three colors. No particular color was dominant. Now imagine in this case now we are playing blue, and it happens to be that such a case scenario like this, green comes out. First thing you should know is that first of all, you failed your analysis. If you had actually analyzed all for this thing correctly, first of all, you expect that this is, if such a case scenario would happen, it should be on blue. It should be blue that should have your max win streak coming 11. That means for 11 draws, only blue, 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 blue. Like as it happened 15 minutes ago, I had such on red. Red appeared like I just finished on red few minutes ago. You can see so much red at the below part. So such appeared on my red, only red, 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 and so much red coming. So right now we have our loss. We go in for Martingale 1-5 it is. Stick in still on the blue. We are not making any adjustment. It will be the same consistent blue from ID 78 to ID 87. No change in it. The worst case scenario, we have a loss which we should not expect to be more than once. Then we go in for the next gameplay. So once you have that loss, you go in for your recovery and you go on to the next. Now my strategy are not just always very easy and to scale through and all. You understand? It's very, very much tactical. That's just one major thing. It's always very tactical, and you have to take your time to understand it before you can start using it. Because I'm not just playing randomly, I'm using the knowledge I've actually gotten in this game to implement into all these strategies. So I don't just play randomly and just expect anyone to be able to understand it easily. Not at all. We have a draw here, two blue and two red with two green. So we're just taking, I've dropped him up my balance, 500, and I stick it in. So I don't just expect everyone and anyone to be able to understand what I'm actually doing. You have to take your time. That's why whenever you join the VIP, I give you a video. I will always tell you, take your time, go through it, understand it, because it's rather very hard to understand. I try to put in my knowledge into you. So the only thing you can do now is to try to practice and ask questions, and not just once you get the video you start taking. No, it's very wrong. Take your time, practice, look at case scenarios, ask questions, and then with that you can understand it better. So let's go. I'll be explaining and concluding on the downside very soon. Let's check out our game right now. So we have one blue down and we are going in for the recovery. We'll check out, let me check out now to see what particular color has been dominant, which I expect. So right here we have dominance on red, red, dominance on draw, so nothing here, dominance on blue, dominance on draw, another draw, wow, that's it, another blue, then you have dominance on red, then another draw. So much draws, so much draws. Then here you have dominance on green. So you have red three times, you have blue two times, then you have green once. So that's the issue here. So much draws on screen. So much draws on screen. Though we do not expect our blue to go more than once, that's just it. So we have another blue here. This is ID 85. Drop down the stake now to 500, still stake on the blue. Now on our blue on the 2 plus, okay, let's just wait it out. We are starting from ID 78. So let's just wait out ID 86 and 87 to draw by, then we can go in. So for now, let's go over to 100 draws and still talk about the downside today. So as I stated, if it happens to be that in a case scenario like this, I'm staking blue and it happens to be that green came out, it just simply means that I analyzed wrongly, nothing more than that. And even in the case that I analyzed off for blue and green is coming, one thing you should know is that the green is not coming 666 per draw, something like this. 666, but rather green is coming, so we've actually won this. Let's go in for the last game, then I run my analysis. Green isn't coming 6 years, 6 years, 6 years, 6 years. Rather, it's doing something like this: 3 green, 4 green, 5 green, 6 green. As it's doing that, other colors are still coming. The only downside about that is the fact that if you go in and analyze wrongly, you find out that your martingale will be struggling. Instead of right now that I'm having my martingale at just once, I've not exceeded once, you'll be seeing your martingale at 2, 3 times. You understand? You can even get as high as the fourth time. But once you check out that you're 10 properly, then after checking, then you know the one to play by your statistics. Then you know that you are very certain of it. In 10 draws, you're winning 8, 7, thereabout. And your martingale is not going beyond once. It's not going beyond once. So this is it. We are at our final game now. If we should check out one thing, blue did not dominate the screen. They didn't, because that was not our plan. Our plan was not to get blue dominating. Though in the time I sticked on red a few minutes ago, red dominated. But in the case of blue, now you can still look at the screen. The screen is rather, because of the so much draws, the screen is rather in between. Blue is not dominating, red is not dominating, green is not dominating. Every color is on screen. That is to try to let us know that in some minutes time, you see this color, no winning color here, might become the highest on our frequency. It is currently on 20%. It's actually rising. So it's actually a good time to play your 2 plus. There's a very good chance that you'll be making your winnings whenever such a thing like this is happening. Draw is actually dominating very badly. Draw is actually dominating. So we still have a 2 plus blue here, but it's not of our concern. Now I've actually made a mistake. I removed draw 80, 78, though it's not a problem. We work without 78, but 78, we know 78 won. This was a made a loss. We made our recovery here. 81 won, 82 loss, immediate recovery, 84 loss, immediate recovery, 85, 86, and 87 all won. So that means from the last 10 draws, we won 7 of 10, and with Martingale not exceeding 1. So it's an excellent gameplay. Let's analyze up for the next. Let this draw now come out. Then we analyze for the next 10 games once again. We will be staking in. So first thing I do is to check my analysis, good and fine. I'm not actually working with analysis that much. Check my last 10 draws using the box technique, the first batch, second batch, and third batch. So let's get in for this now. All right, the pen. All right. So 2 plus red. The next few games, 2 plus red it is. 2 plus red we start taking on. So for from ID 90 to 99, we are expecting 2 plus red. ID 90 to 99, 2 plus red. So on the first game, we've had our red coming in. ID 90 red in up till 99. So 91, we still play red. So up till ID 99, we'll be taking in 2 plus red. 2 plus red it is. So let's go in for the gameplay now. Very simple. Now, one major thing, as I stated, is that on this rainbow, the only downside that I don't like is the fact that it is much more capital intensive. Capital intensive, depending on the risk factor, is very capital intensive. Now, looking at this, you are playing out of 3 possible outcomes, which is number 1, a 2 plus here, or a 2 plus here, or a 2 plus, or the fact that you might have a draw of 3 balls and not your color will be coming out, or such other occurrences like this. You actually see that the chances are rather very low. Now we have on 5 very, very much crazy, as I actually just tapped on 5 green. Now we have 5 green coming here. So let's check that out. The next gameplay now, going on to make a recovery for this. So 2 plus red it is. So as I stated, you will not get 10 over 10, but 7 over 10 is good. 6 over 10 is rather very low. 7 over 10, 8 over 10 is very good. And then the major thing, you should not get to have your martingale surpassing 1. Once you make a loss, like in this case here, immediately going for a victory. You make a loss again, you're going for the victory. So now on the red, we made a loss right here. We are supposed to make our recovery here just once, like once, nothing more than once. As long as you analyze right, your ones should be your ones. So we've actually gotten on with the red right here. Going on, we drop this down by 500. Then we take in for the red once again. So ID 91, 92, 91 gone by, 92, 90. So we are going all the way to 99. So we still have few draws left, 7 draws left. Then we can actually end this video. I always try my best to make sure that the very first video is very explanatory, at least to a good extent. Always try to give my concept. So I believe that when I talk about the downside or the possible downside, I've explained it very much. The downside is only the fact that if you analyze wrongly, as we are playing red now, and then such a thing happens whereby blue comes 11 on the max win streak, you find out that you'll be having so much on your recovery. You might be going up to the 4th time before you make a recovery. Going on to the 4th time. So red out now. We have red going in for the recovery. So red going in for the recovery right about now. Let's check out the last 10 draws. We have green here. We have a draw here. We have a red here. We have a draw here. We have a green here. We have a draw here. We have a red here. Then we have a green here, and blue here. Finally. So much on the red. So much on the red previously. Let's check out our draws now. So recovery on the red has been made, and we go on to our next gameplay right now. So that's the aim of this. The aim of this strategy is not to get 100%. The aim of it is number one, get 7 of your 10 games correctly. Number two, make sure that your martingale does not exceed 1. Though we have a plan for 3, but with this, we are not expecting more than 1, 2, thereabout. So right about since Thursday, I've been on this. Though due to the fact I've been playing on the winning color as I've not actually gotten to analyze this much. I actually put much more emphasis since yesterday on this, and I've gotten up to 40 gameplays I've been trying up since yesterday. So far I can say my martingale I've only seen 2. Only 2 so far till now. So right now we're going in for the red. Let's go to screen and see what particular color it's dominating right now. So on the domination, you have green, red, blue, green, green. So green has actually been doing it. Now this is what we're actually talking about in that case of max win streak. You can see green here, green here, green here. 3 out of 5. Though our red did not lose, but you can see that we're having to go on so much recovery. So far I can say that since ID we started on ID 90 here. This is 1 red out, 2 red out, 3 red out. So this might be the kind of week or the kind of session whereby we have our reds coming as low as 6 times. All right, so we have our first double martingale on the red. Double martingale on the red. So let's get on. But one major thing I know is that looking at the statistics now, for the last 5 draws, you can see here we have a blue, here we have a green, here we have a red, here we have a blue, and here a green. So 2 green to 1 red to 2 blue. So red here is standard. Here, red here is standard. The reason why is because when you look at the statistics, we have red on a draw with your blue, and there is always a quest for dominance. And the dominance now means that this red should actually try to actually hold on its place or goes above the blue. So it's one of the two. So red might actually win this right now. So you can see that red has won this right about now. Then when we go over to our statistics, it was 33 to 33. So for the quest for dominance, red is now on 34. You can see what happened there. Red now has gotten up to 34 on the quest for dominance. So that's just it. Whenever two particular colors are on the same draw, there's a very high chance that that particular color, let's say be it red or whatever, that is lagging will try to then dominate, and then his own statistics will go higher than the one that is currently here. So that's why I told you that whenever you're using my strategy, just bring out your time to know that you have to learn. You don't just enter and start staking. Mentorship class to covers all that. So right now I've missed out on playing on my red 2 plus, but I wait out the result. So 2 plus red here has won. Let's get on to the next game. We're at ID 99 finally. Our last draw. ID 99. So let this come out now that we know, do we make our game. As you know, on the last session we played blue. Blue out of 10, we won 7 with only 3 having to come with a martingale of ones and thereabout. On red with 1, I believe we'll be winning 6 or thereabout with a martingale of 2 times. Dominating on screen is very clear is green. It's very clear is green. Dominating. After green, we have blue. But still, our red is still going forward. So that's just it. That's why I explained to you guys that on this aspect of max win streak, it doesn't actually mean that your color will not win, but it just means that you might actually take out time to be getting that your colors. And this is it, and this is it. Finally, let's check out the last 10 draws here. So we have red here, one, lost here, recovery here, lost here, recovery here. So we had for here loss, recovery here, one here, one here. So after we had all this, we had a 6/10 and still profit made, as our martingale went only 2 times. Now let's check what particular color did the best on this. For a 10 draws, did any particular color come out 10 times? We have green, 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 and then green finally filled here. For the blue, you had a blue failed, blue failed, blue failed. So if we had gone with blue, it would have been a disaster. So blue was totally out. Blue one here, blue failed here, one here, failed here again, one here, one here. But this was a clear disaster using blue. A clear disaster. Now our red is just all the way on the screen. Though I cannot go another 10 draws once again to avoid the video being excessively long, but you will expect that in my next video I'll be making 2 more gameplays. But for now, I'll be ending this video right about now.